Hello, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is March 10th, 2023. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. We do the disclaimer. Use allegedly. Nobody's been found guilty in a court of law just yet. Apply the but-for legal standard, the proximate cause legal standard. And I assert all constitutional rights, especially but not limited to equal protection of the laws in the state where I live that would protect me against a stalker, hacker, peeping Tom, a little wannabe, never the wanted one. Just sits around watching TV all day, pretending. That's the most boring thing on the planet. I mean, I already know what I did all day. It is repulsive and vulgar, and it's rape. And it's a felony, by the way. And also, witness tampering, intimidation, coercion, trafficking, exploitation, perjury, all of those. There's a thing called misogyny and gender discrimination that is not tolerated in the society we live in today. This is not Iraq. This is the United States of America. And we all have rights. There's a thing called the Constitution, and it applies to everybody equally. Right, Mr. Bender and Mr. Gunswheeler? So, Mr. Perry has contacted me again. It's very, very inappropriate. I don't like it. It makes me sick at my stomach. He's invaded my privacy. He spent a decade now watching TV pretending he's got a life. He's not accountable for his time, and he should be in a court of law. He will be in our court. So, he's not getting reality. When we're quoting him every day and naming his people. First of all, when did we first start naming his people? People who are associated and affiliated with a criminal organization that he's involved with, allegedly. We started naming Calvin, who's bald and fat, Blankenship Desiree. When he started talking about getting me kicked out of my apartment and having Mr. Mitchell change the argument he was going to make for police officer Mike Neely. When you fuck out over a cop, something happens. Everything changes. So pay attention to the timeline, Mr. Perry. And Mr. Robertson, when you started hurting Mike Neely, you took the life of Chief Miller, allegedly, and you tried to take Mike's, just like you tried to take mine. You guys like doing arsenic was what you did to me, and opioids for Officer Neely. And when we didn't die, you did a false arrest. You went before a court of law, and either on your own or someone on your behalf perpetrated an intentional deception upon that court to get a ruling that was illegal. And you did it twice. And you did it to people who are in cop family. I come from 4 generations of police. Mr. Neat, I have police helping me. We got those names. Who got that from you to me? You're just not all there. You're not dealing with reality at all. And people laugh. See, if we know what you say, we know what people say behind your back. All of you. It's not just Charles. It's all of you that are involved in this. And you make people horrified and sick. So Mr. Perry tells me, we got your witnesses to recant. Did you? Because you've been telling everybody who would listen that you're going to starve me until I lie. And long ago, Mr. Perry, there was more than one reporter that told our guys that are involved. There's 12 reporters that I need to know. 3 of them do not live in the U.S. And they don't give 2 fucks who you think you are. So what are you going to do? You know, you went around and told everybody, I'm going to starve her until she lies. And so everyone said, we can see clearly she's having severe financial distress put upon her. So if she changes her story now, we'll know that he made her. And she's telling the truth now. He's trying to make her lie. Do you really think that nobody will put it together in their head that if you did that to other people, if other people all of a sudden change their story, that they won't know what you made them do that with the same kind of threats? Every day it's the same thing. I'm going to starve you until you lie. I'm going to false arrest you again. Or I have this house in Houston. Come be trafficked. Come lie for me. I have an affidavit and a letter of apology we want you to sign. We wrote it, not you. It's our words, not yours. That is against my will, and I said no. I've said no despite the extreme, unbearable distress you've put on me. Despite the witness tampering. Despite the intimidation tactics. Despite everything you've tried to do to make me lie for you. And you are off your nut, sir, if you think people are that stupid. Off your nut. They are not. Because if we know what you say, we hear what people say behind your back. They're horrified by you. We can get information, and you can't. We have names of your people, and you have not one name of ours. Not one single name. Of the guys that work very hard every day to keep me safe. There's a lot of people, Mr. Perry, with a whole lot of power. More power in their pinky toe than you will ever have in your life. That are very worried about me and very concerned about my well-being, my happiness, my freedom, my peace. Get the fuck off me, you rapist. You are not wanted. You are not loved. You're alone. No woman is sitting on your lap. You're by yourself. You've been rejected for a decade. Not a day, not a week, not a month, not a year. A decade. You're not loved. You're repulsive. You sit around all day on your fat, lazy ass and bother everybody. And horrify everybody. And creep everybody out. And piss everybody off. So we can quote you. And you have not one quote from our meetings. Not one. What are the names of your people? And when did we get them? And think about what you guys were doing when we got them. Because these are people I've not met in my entire life. Not that I know of. Bald, fat, hated, despised Calvin. Calvin, everybody fucking hates your guts. Because you're mean. You are a cruel piece of shit. And you are a very hated, despised piece of, garbage. Garbage, sir. Blankenship. Desiree, Lucius, Geppetto, Sanjay, your hacker, Geppetto's your witch, Beverly, Kate, Andrew, Lawrence, James, Ruben, Dickie, and Richard. Now name one of my guys and think about what you were doing to everybody else when we got those names. You sick son of a bitch. You got people to change their story, their court testimony. You suborned perjury. Is that what you're telling me? You trying to intimidate me with that? That was a confession. Thank you. You're a fucking moron. Criminals are stupid, or they wouldn't be criminals. And I guess he thought that would make me go, oh, okay, now I'll lie for you. And it didn't. It pissed me off because you're doing the same thing fucking, mobsters do. You're just organized crime. It's just one more crime, you dumb son of a bitch. We didn't know what the hell kind of who's your babysitter, because they fucking suck. All right, so we got this all. I mean, that doesn't change, Mr. Perry. That right there. This is a letter to my ex-husband in 2015. He's going to try to false arrest me to coerce me. Nothing's changed. He's still trying to do the same thing and still failing. Look at this. We have one of our trafficking victims, our exploitation victims, that we want to get back to Texas so we can do more to hurt her. Doesn't change that, does it? You said that. It was recorded. I got it. Other people in the need to know got it. So what did you have someone do? Say something different, huh? Who did you suborn perjury from? What witnesses did you make change their story? Did you tell them the same thing you tell me? I'm going to starve you until you lie. And so they're not as strong as me. And they went, okay. And then they lied. Ooh. Wow, no surprise there. You think people are dumb like you, don't you? You really think that, don't you? All that, Mr. Perry. All of that, Mr. Perry. I mean, you tried to text from my hacked phone. You thought I disconnected it. Because every person in jail told me what they're going to do is send you home. Because he did the false arrest. Charges were dismissed because it was a false arrest. It was a bullshit. So he everybody in there, he's going to send you home. They're going to harass the fuck out of you. And then when you talk about it, they're going to say you're harassing them. They're going to lie. It's already planned. They had a big meeting. While you had that meeting, Justice Scalia's in West Texas and he dies suddenly. In West Texas, where we all were at the same time. And you're planning and having meetings and discussing perpetrating a fraud upon the highest court in the land. And Justice Scalia was a free speech guy. Flag burning, he said, is free speech. If I'm king, I say hang the guy, but I'm not king. We have a constitution. And that constitution protects his right to free speech. And that means burning the flag is my decision. And you didn't like that, did you? He didn't want to go along with it. So what'd you do? Change his pills out? I mean, come on. William O. Ritchie, who is a commander of the murder cop investigating body of Washington, of D.C. police, immediately questioned why protocol was not followed after Justice Scalia's death, had it, if he had it, as it would have been had he died in D.C. So you got that suspicious thing too. You have motive to do that. You had a plan. You discussed it while I was in Lubbock, illegally incarcerated, Mr. Perry. Everybody talked about it. It was all over the jail. Matt Powell told the defense attorney, and the defense attorney told his client, and it went all over the place. Boom, like fire. That's the way Lubbock is, Mr. Perry. Something happens at 8 o'clock in the morning, by 8:11, it's all over town. And you're nuts. Is that why you're always in Oklahoma? Bothering people in Oklahoma? What is your schedule exactly? Provide your schedule. You don't have any business being in Oklahoma. Nobody invited you here. You're not wanted here. Look at your results. What is your stated goal? You don't like women, or you do what women like. Women don't like peeping toms. You're a fat, lazy turnoff. I already know what I did all day. You're boring. You're boring. You're cruel. Women like to be spoiled, not beat down and raped. So when you've done the crime to me, all of a sudden things changed. We got names. I just named all your people. Not all your people, but a lot of your people. Didn't I? Anybody else have that? Any other victim have that? David, you better wake up, bitch. It's not funny. It's not funny. You're in a lot of trouble. It's unbelievable you don't know that. As much as we've quoted you. When I say get the fuck out of my life, Mr. Perry, as much as I've quoted you and named your people, it's hysterical you think you have a choice. It speaks to your delusion. You got Huntington's disease. It causes paranoia, delusion, psychosis, hallucinations. You see things that aren't there. You're a fucking, cuckoo bird. They have a doctor for that. Don't bother me with that shit. Don't bother me with it. I want nothing to do with it. And impaired cognitive reasoning. You can't put two and two together. And you're bothering me with this. You're making your problem my problem. And I don't like that. Get it off me. Get that shit off me. It's crime causation, maybe? That's for your attorney to argue. My client is such a nutbag, it made him do all this criminal shit. That's his deal. I'm saying I don't care what the problem is. Get it the fuck off me. Look at that. He just changed the page. I didn't touch my golly. See, Mr. Perry, you shouldn't know what I'm doing right now. This is a recording, not a live feed. Thank you for, that will get us more, because my guys are going to be mad that you did that. That will get us more intel, because it'll piss off all your leaks. Every time you contact me, every day you invade my privacy, every day, every time you cause me a loss or a problem, what happens? Over the last 10 years, what has happened? Ask Sanjay, ask Beverly, ask Geppetto, ask Kate, ask bald, fat, hated Calvin, ask Lucius. What happens when you do shit that I don't like? Criminal shit. Invade my privacy. It's inappropriate for you to contact me. It's highly inappropriate for you to contact me via hack. You cloned my phone. The evidence officers, whoever police are listening to this, because Mr. Perry complained, oh, this is my, and she's picking on me. No, that's not it. That's not even it. It's the evidence will be in his phone, not in mine. So he tried to text, because, see, look at the date of that right there. That's what I'm saying. Everybody in jail said he wants to use me as a test case before the Supreme Court. He's going to harass the shit out of me. They said, beat my car up, take everything I own, make sure I don't make any money. And then when I complain about it, he'll lie. He'll intentionally and maliciously perpetrate a fraud upon a court of law and say he's the victim. What's he doing in Oklahoma? Where's Jack, Will, and Jordan and Matthew when you're in Oklahoma bothering me? Okay, see, we documented this when it happened. That's why we do podcasts. It's to document your threats of the day and whatever information we get in, so that when you do the crime, now we've got you on malicious aforethought and premeditation. You've hurt somebody. You broke the law hurting somebody, and that somebody was me, and you did it on purpose. You planned it. And every day that you do that to me, we're building a case against you, you dumb fuck. So when we quote you every day and we name your people and we tell you you better stop, we think it is hysterical. You actually think you have a choice. That speaks to your delusion problems. And get that shit off me. So we got all this long ago. And because of that, Kirkendall said, I need you to leave her the hell alone for at least 2 weeks. Just leave her alone. And that way I can rule out provocation and entrapment. And you took that to mean, because you're not all there, do it more. So they tried to get me kicked out of my apartment. And now we got bald fat Calvin's name, and Blankenship, and Desiree, and Lucius, and all these other. But he tries to text from my phone, because after everybody in the whole jail is telling me, get rid of your phone, he's gonna tweet from it. He's gonna cause you problems. He's gonna lie. He's gonna commit more criminal acts against you. Mr. Perry, nobody cares what you think. No one cares. Were you asked what you think? I don't think you were. You just never shut up. Why don't you go work? Go be normal. Oh yeah, you don't have any power. So he did, sure enough. I immediately disconnected my phone and got a new one. I had it charging up to go to my attorney for trial, because they wanted me to lie and plead guilty, and I was like, fuck no, see you in court. I'll see you in court. And so I had this getting ready for court, and I went into Manford with my son to get some food. We'd already eaten dinner, we just wanted some snacks, and I was about to pass a store. I'm in the left lane. My son says, okay, go ahead and go in this store. So I turn right real quick. There's only one car around. It's kind of late. It actually wasn't real late, but for Manford it was. Well, it turns out that one car was a police officer. He pulled me over. What the hell were you doing? And I didn't get a ticket or anything. He was just like, don't do that. But it might have even been Mike Neely. I don't know. But I'm being pulled over while this is at my house. Well, Princess, Weirdo, Cuckoo Bird, Hacker Peeper, tried to text from it. So he did exactly what all those inmates said, which I documented here. Right? It's the first thing I told my attorney when he picked me up from jail to take me home. Very first thing out of my mouth. Guess what everybody told me? What? Charles is going to harass me and then claim I'm harassing him. Did we not just make an agreement that was indicated in the bond conditions that he is to leave me the fuck alone? Yep. Let me know. if he actually does it. And you did. And you did it this morning. And you did it right here when you changed the page. Get the fuck out of my phone. Hacking and cloning is a felony crime. You sick son of a bitch. It is a vulgar invasion of my privacy. So is your Peep and Tom problem. That is not how you get women to like you. That is how you repulse women. So what is your stated goal? Do you want to date? Do you want to cover up? Did you want information? Did you need our help? Because everything you're doing, is it getting you that result? No. It's getting us information. Nobody's going to help you until you get the hell out of my life and I never hear from you again. I've said that over and over and over and over. Write it down. Alzheimer's. So, when I got this, Mr. Perry, all this stuff, that's why we email it, that's why we document it, so that nobody can change their testimony. Is that your name on that puzzle? No, it's not. Is it some other random guy's name on that puzzle? No, it's not. Whose name is on that puzzle? Fabian. And you're just always the wannabe. Just pathetic, butt-in wannabe. Never the one wanted. And that is the best you'll ever do. You'll never have anything real. You don't want anything real. Because if you liked women, you would do what women like. And you do what everything deviant men do. Invade, impose, bother, burden. And make everybody sick at their stomach. So when you contact me, we find out more about your crime. When you invade my privacy, we find out more about your crime. When you contact me at all, motherfucker, I fucking hate it. It's nasty, it's disgusting, and you are gross. So we find out more about your crime. When you cause any kind of problem or loss for me at all, we find out more about your crime, and it has been that way every day for a decade. So you threatened me with your witnesses changed their story, they recanted. For when? Where? When and where, Mr. Perry, did that happen? Read that. It's in writing. So if you forget, you can read it again. It's right there for you. When you forget what we just said over and over and over and over, have to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, and you still don't get it, then it's right there. Read it again. You're not loved, you're not wanted, you're alone and told on. And that's all you've gotten out of everything you've done for now a decade. When you contact me, I fucking hate it. So we find out more. It pisses off all your leaks. When you cause a loss for me, it pisses off all your leaks. Calvin, you are really making people mad. I get that you like walking around and, oh my God, shut the fuck up, you bitch. Shut the hell up. Everybody fucking hates you. People don't like you because you're cruel and because you're mean. Mr. Perry, shut the fuck up. Nobody asked you what you think, did they? Nobody cares what you think. Mr. Perry, listen to the words I'm saying. When you contact me, you too, Calvin, we find out more about the crime. Is that what you want? Was that the stated goal? Is that the outcomes you guys were hoping for? Be an asshole like you are? Being creepy, Charles? Charles, you're creepy. You're not hot, you're not sexy, you're fucked up, and you're creepy, and you're making everybody mad. Get the fuck off me, you sick rapist. Get off me. You don't have a choice. As much as we quote you guys and name your people, why in the fuck do you think you have a choice? And surely you know how ridiculous you look thinking you have a choice. You don't have a choice. You don't have one. Get the hell away from me. Get away from me. This is how you look to everybody else.
Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No, 0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave
You
me
can
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my god. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave
You
me
can
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my god. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay.
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
I don't care.
Leave me alone.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me
You can
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. And you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Now, what does that say? Video could prove man charged in Manford Police Chief's death innocent, attorney says. His attorney, Gene Mitchell, said this. You see that? He said the same thing I said. In the video, Officer Neely says, I don't have any injuries that indicate I was in a fight. Look at my hands. I don't believe you. And yet, he changed that and in court said, my client, who was unconscious and in respiratory distress at the time, fell on Chief Miller and with his magic ass caused blunt force trauma to the head, internal decapitation, and strangulation. The medical examiner said Chief Miller was hit back and forth so hard, right hand, left hand, back and forth and back, that his head came off his body. That's what internal decapitation is. The skull detaches from the rest of the body. And that killed him. You can't do that when you're unconscious and in respiratory distress and dying of opioid overdose. I said it before anybody else said it. He was drugged, he didn't do it. They tried to kill him too. And when he didn't die, they did the same thing to him they did to me when I didn't die, when they gave me arsenic. They do a false arrest. They went into a court and sworn perjury. And committed perjury. And that's a big, fat, it's 5 years per count minimum. Per count, Princess Cuckoo Bird. You're not all there, are you? My witnesses, or whoever, recanted. When and where did that happen? You cause another person to change their what they were going to say. Okay, the first story is typically the right one. Then when you go in around telling everybody I'm going to starve you until you lie. You won't have anything to eat. You'll be living on the streets in a fucking homeless shelter. Where we can take whatever else you have left. It makes you more vulnerable to theft. You know, come on with that. Come on with that. So he did change his story. And I texted him and I said, what you're saying isn't possible, much less plausible. What are you thinking? And I said it before he made his legal argument. Sir, how'd I know he was going to change it? Because you're under investigation, bitch. You, Lucius, David Robertson, Matt, Josh, Joe, Powell, all y'all. Calvin, bald, fat, hated Calvin. So, anyways, so last night, we get this guy talking about work. I don't think she's safe at her work. That girl can't even go to work and just be safe. These guys want to kill her. You want to serve me with something. You want to have me false arrested again. And we know that. I'm saying it before, not after. Because you're under investigation, you bitch. You're not all there, are you? You don't name one of my guys, not even one. Not one of the officers investigating you. You haven't quoted even one of their meetings. We quote you every damn day. You're not all there, are you? That's why we call you Princess Cuckoo Bird. A 1-year-old little girl can sit around and watch TV and pretend. They do it every day, little kids. You go into any kind of daycare or some, little baby school. The little girls and the little boys are sitting watching TV. Pretend my kids. My son used to love Blue's Clues. He had the blue clue, the little dog. And he had a little shirt like Steve. And he'd sit there and watch and pretend he was Steve. I even had a wingback chair, a red one, just like they had on that show. He'd sit in the chair with his little handy-dandy notebook and write in it. So, who is it you think you're impressing? That any child from 1 year old, I think he outgrew that by age 5. You have no woman sitting with you. You have no cover up. Your crime has not been this uncovered in your life. You need to remember who it is you're talking to when you start trying to intimidate and threaten me. Okay? You're just not all there. Get it off me, weirdo. So we're documenting for the record that you've threatened my work. That's nothing new. You've done that. The arsenic was given to me at Lady Godiva's. My work has always been dangerous. You're a criminal. You're a monster. People don't like monsters. So we can get information and you can't. Nobody's going to help you. My guys will help you once you give it back and get the fuck out of my life. And I never hear from you again. I don't want your BioLi money. And I've said that for a long time with you. I'm going to starve you until you lie. And I have this nice house in Houston for you. You're going to suck all my buddies' dicks. And then you can have this nice house. A really nice house. That's what sex trafficking is. Sorry for the vulgarity, but that's what sex trafficking is. It's a sex crime. You're a sex pervert. Some people call it sex weirdo. You got abused as a kid. Blame mommy. Mommy humiliated me, and now I'm going to ruin everybody else's life and make everybody else pay for it. Yep, and when you're in jail, I'll come and see if you think it's cute then. We're getting this information, Mr. Perry, and you can't get shit. Wake up. You're not all there. Name one of my guys, quote one of their meetings. Name one guy, Mr. Perry, and quote one meeting. And when I tell you stop, as much as we've quoted you, it speaks to how very deep in pretend land, delusion land, make-believe world that you think you have a choice. 10 years every day. What day is he going to put it all there out into the court and get your arrest warrant signed? It's already being used, Mr. Perry, to get investigatory orders. What court is it in? See, it's sealed. Nobody will tell you shit. Nobody will tell you fuck. Because here's the thing. They can do a whole lot more in getting that kind of information if you don't know who they are. since you like going around telling everybody how you're going to starve them until they lie. I'll get you fired. Threaten, harass. Bother. And now it's catching up to you. It always does. It always does. We all reap what we sow. Karma is all religions. All religions have some form of karma. You reap what you sow. You get back what you put out. If you wanted a date with a woman, you would do what women like. You do every repulsive thing, even repulses prisoners. You like deviant men. We all get that. The things that you do are what deviant men like. And you've surrounded yourself with deviant men who tell you what you want to hear. And do what you do. I mean, you made my work dangerous. What else is new? You've always made my work dangerous. I can't go to work without being a victim of a crime. Grand larceny with intent to coerce, interference with commerce with intent to coerce, deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce, interference with contracts with intent to coerce. Let's get all her little buddies together and sit down and have a meeting and tell them to be mean to her. Yeah, and that fucked you up last Thursday, I guess. It was supposed to happen last Thursday, but everybody's mean to her, so she left. We don't know when or if she's going back, but it's not safe for her. Documented for the record. And I'm documenting right here for your record. Alright? You're caught again. And nobody gives two fucks what you think. Whack job. You don't even make sense. So you intimidated you intimidated witnesses, now they're victims. You just made more victims. This guy's changed his story completely. And then didn't ask me in the deposition, how did you know Mr. Neely was drugged before we even deposed first responders? And how did you know I was going to change my legal argument before I even made my legal argument? Didn't ask me that. You know what he asked me? Did you send me a bunch of emails? Yes, Mr. Mitchell, I sent you 5 with evidence attached for your client. Well, I got all these emails I didn't have time to read. Yep, after the 5th one, I said I've got more evidence and I didn't want to bog you down with a bunch of emails, so I'm going to set up a Dropbox for you. If you got more than 5, they're not from me. That has no relevance at all to his client's case, does it? But it is relevant to Mr. Perry's bullshit that he's being harassed. He's the victim. I think normal people disagree. 99.9% of the population doesn't even understand little bitches like you. Pathetic. Mommy humiliated me, so I'm going to bother everybody else with that. You might as well shit your underwear and wave it around. You keep that crap in your own family. You don't bother other people with it. Get some class and dignity, Mr. Perry. Where's Jacqueline, Jordan, and Matthew when you go around acting like that? And you think everybody's supposed to feel sorry for you. You blew up this cop's life. Yours is about to get blown up in a courtroom. The legal way. You reap what you sow. If we're quoting you every day, right? We know you made my workplace dangerous. We know you make it. I'm in danger wherever I am. It doesn't matter where I am. But we're smart in the risk. We always have been, Mr. Perry. We're very strategic. There's a reason we're way ahead of you. Like nobody else has been in your entire life. We have more evidence against you than anybody else has in your life. What is this Rumpelstiltskin? Let's play Rumpelstiltskin. You know what that means? These guys use code words. I have their code words. No one else has that. When Charles contacts me, when Charles invades my privacy, when you guys cause a problem for me, Calvin, when you cause any kind of loss for me at all, guess what? We get shit like that because you piss off your leaks. And you piss off a lot of people with a fuck ton of power that really care about my safety and well-being. They will kick your ass. And they always do. So these guys have code words. Papa John's is a code word for delivering a trafficking victim to the buyer. Mr. Perry, shut up. You forget who it is you're dealing with. You're not all there. So, shut up, I said. So he'll type in my other phone while I'm doing this, and it's a recording. These aren't live. Only a peeping Tom and a hacker would know what I'm doing right now. So sometimes if I stop and say, shut up, he does. Not always, but sometimes it's worth the attempt. Anyways, you don't make sense, Mr. Perry. You don't even make sense. You sound ridiculous. And you're mentally ill, so you don't even know that. You don't know how ridiculous you sound. To normal people. You can't be normal. You don't have any power. You can't control yourself. It's embarrassing. It's very, very embarrassing. Okay, so that's what Papa John's is. And they're all weeble wobbles. Weeble wobbles, we wobble, but we don't fall down. They think they're not going to have any consequences. They're that delusional. Even though we're quoting them every day, and we're talking about their little code words, the little creepster code words. This is a criminal organization. They do sex trafficking. They traffic drugs. They traffic all kinds of shit. Right, David? Isn't that what you've been doing all this time? Yep. And then when I came to Oklahoma, here's the thing. Had you left me alone, you'd probably still be doing it without any problem at all. But when you did it to me, all of a sudden things blew up on you, didn't they? And yet you keep trying to do it to me, the crime. No, criminals are stupid, or they wouldn't be criminals. Because I didn't pick the fight with you. You're picking the fight with me. What did I tell you? I'm not Wyatt Earp. I didn't come into town to mop up. I don't even want to know about this shit. Leave me alone with that. But you didn't. So you pissed off people with a hell of a lot of power. And you do. Every time you cause me a loss, every day my privacy's invaded, every day Mike Neely's in jail, every day I'm broke. And every time Princess Weirdo contacts me, because I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Get the bitch off me, David. Get him off me. There's never going to be anything there. I fucking can't stand Weirdo. I can't stand him. He makes all my skin crawl. All of it. So, then we get the code word, we get Lucious's name. We get the code words of, they use daycare code words, these people. It's like, what the hell? Hansel and Gretel is when you're trying to coax somebody like you coaxed Mike to Pensacola, right? There's a lot of this evidence I've already shown. I'm not showing it again. We've got it, and we have it. Mr. Perry, shut up. He said, here's my day. I wake up first thing in the morning. We intimidated your witnesses recanted. Oh my God. Wow. Typing that on my phone. First thing in the morning. Hadn't even had my coffee yet. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. Here we fucking go again. It is inappropriate for you to contact me, Mr. Perry. So you're trying to intimidate me with that? But here's the thing. Everybody knows you've threatened to starve me until I lie. You're trying to intimidate me, and I won't do it. I'll kick your ass. Nobody's kicked your ass like I have, but I have help from very powerful people you just pissed off. Yeah, more in their pinky toe than you'll ever have, Calvin, David. And you did it to Gene Mitchell. And in a deposition, he asked not one relevant question to his client, but he asked a whole lot of questions about the things you want, the deception you want to perpetrate upon a court. About when you're told on, that's harassment. Yeah, it's not. What the crime is, proximate causation and all that crap, Mr. Perry, that we've applied that legal standard right here and to everything we do and say, is you came to Oklahoma. You were not invited to Oklahoma. And you sit on your fat, lazy ass, and you pervert around all day, and you make problem after problem after problem, and you sit with your people, and you sit around and you plan some sort of injury that is illegal to do, and it's intentional, and it's malicious, and you don't talk about it once. You talk about it over and over and over and over. Talk about purposeful availment. Wow. Wow. It's so easy. It's not fair. Because you're that dumb. Criminals are stupid, or they wouldn't be criminals. So there's actual research that shows the biology theory of criminology is that you're stupid. Low IQ and no impulse control. That's one of the causations. They look at all different things. Is it social causes that makes people commit crime? Is it biological causes that makes people commit crime? And then Lonnie Athens comes out with the brutalization and the victimization theory. No one, low IQ and no self-control is yours. That's all there is to it. I don't think you were abused as a kid. I think you made up some bullshit story, is what I think. I think you're born stupid, and that's just all there is to it. You're just not, things aren't clicking for you. They just aren't. They never did. They never were. So, you bother everybody else with that. And we're tired of it. Everyone's sick of it. That's why we can get information and you can't. Okay? Pathetic. You're gonna get up and intimidate me first thing this morning? Boy, howdy. And so Mr. Mitchell says right here, my client didn't do it. There's not a mark on him. You can't beat somebody to death and have not a mark on you. And the medical examiner said back and forth. Right, left, right, left. We've all seen boxing matches. Right, left, or a bar fight. So hard his head came off his body. And he goes into court and completely changed that after I text him and go, don't fucking do that. That's not even possible, much less plausible, what you're about to say. And how did I know what he was about to say? In October 2020, court was not until March 2021. How did I know that, Princess Cuckoo Bird? I know that because you're under police investigation. I knew Mike was drugged before anybody deposed the first responders, and I said to the Florida State's attorney, he didn't do it, he was drugged. Got the wrong guy. You do this shit to a cop, it's going to do something in a lot of other cops. And you're going to get your ass kicked. You're going to get your ass kicked. You got 2 people from cop family that you hurt bad in a way we'll never get over. And then you took the life of another one. And that's even so much way worse. And his family's being denied the benefits of having a father and a husband who was killed in the line of duty because Chief Miller was killed in the line of duty. He was going to get you, wasn't he? Chief Miller did a big meth bust right before his murder. He liked to go big. He's a little bitty police department, 8 guys, but he's gonna kick some criminal ass, wasn't he? And he was gonna kick yours. And you didn't like that. You intimidate people. So witnesses recanted. Nobody else suspect a thing. That's not fishy. That's not fishy at all. Nobody else is dumb. You're the only one that's dumb. People know. You're not fooling anybody. And we can get information, and you can't. We can name your people, and you can't name even one of ours. And that's the results, and those are the outcomes of 10 years of what you do every day, all day long. And you can't get a date. Nobody likes you. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're rejected. And told on, and told on, and told on. And that's it. And that's all, sir. Now get the fuck out of my life and do not contact me ever again. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's duly noted that you've tried to intimidate me again today. First thing in the morning, as soon as I get up. So, Mitchell should have asked me, how did you know my client was drugged? And how did you know I was going to change my legal argument? And he told somebody later, he didn't ask me that. Because he wasn't asking questions for his case. He was asking questions for yours. Which links you to that murder. What do you do calling him? What do you do butting into other people's court cases if you had nothing to do with it? What are you getting involved in my traffic court case if you didn't arrange that pullover to intimidate me? To cause a loss for me? Huh? And yet you are. So you want to serve me with something? Whatever. Okay, so another fraud upon a court, another deception upon a court. I would suggest before you serve me with shit, you better make sure all the facts are correct. Because if there's any kind of perjury at all, if there's any kind of fraud or deception at all, your ass is going to get kicked with that, as is Matt Powell's. Matt has been obsessed with, we need her whereabouts, every fucking day since I've been in Oklahoma. Why is that? Why, Matt Powell, are you obsessed with, we need her whereabouts, I need an address for her? I don't ask that question about you. I don't give a fuck where you live. I left. Move on. Move the fuck on. It's been a decade. I've lived in Oklahoma 9 years, Mr. Powell. 9 years. My family's here. What are you doing here? Why are you asking that question? I don't ask that question about you. I don't care where you live. So, what is your problem, sir? We don't even know what to say. So, Mr. Powell, do you not care anything about Mr. Neely? Do you not look at evidence? Do you not look at facts? Are you just like Charles? Because you like to go around and pretend you're the good one. You got 5 people involved in this deal. There's Charles, Dave, Josh, Joe, and Matt. 5 of you. And I think, if I remember right, Kirkendall told you there's 5 of you. You don't know what the hell's going on over in Tulsa. We're not in Tulsa. We're in Lubbock, Texas. Far, far away. You don't know what the other guys are doing to her. Do you? And you don't. They're thugs. Joe Chadwick owns a strip club. David Robertson can't stay out of a strip club. And they have mafia affiliations and they're in sex trafficking. And so is Perry. And you don't know what Perry does, Mr. Powell, when you're not sitting right next to him watching him all the time, do you? We do. We know a lot more about it than we want to know, believe me. Did you know Gene Mitchell was going to change? He went into a court of law and said, my client, who was unconscious and in respiratory distress, having been overdosed on opioids, fell on Chief Miller, Mike Neely, my client, who 6 days before took a vandalism complaint from Ms. Ortiz, who was right in the middle of a court proceeding over a stalker. Stalkers vandalized the car. I had a recording. I'm going to take her car. It's not legal. I don't have the recording. Police have the recording. I typed up the recording I heard. Same as always. Do you have any access to that, Mr. Powell? What is it you think you know? Because you don't know shit. You've made it a point not to know. When you had me false arrested the first time, sir, you didn't know anything about anything, did you? Because you didn't ask for evidence. Where, Charles, is the evidence of a political vendetta? Show me a text, show me a tweet, show me something. What's the issue? To this day, 9 years later, there's nothing. There's no issue. There's no text, there's no tweets over political anything. You know what my texts were about, Mr. Powell? I don't like being stalked. And that's not what you do to pass a law in Texas, Mr. Powell, is it? You didn't look. Where's my blood test, Mr. Powell, to rule out or confirm the poisoning with arsenic? See, you don't get your facts, bitch, and you look like a stupid idiot. You're a fail. Look what you've done to these 2. Look what you had a participation in that because you're trying to cover it up too. What is it you want my whereabouts for, sir? We know you make those phone calls. You're under investigation too. You got 5 of you involved. You don't know what everybody else is doing, do you? Don't go around and act like you're the good one. You're not. You're just the evil one, wicked as the rest of them. You just whitewash it. That's all you do. You're whitewashing everything that you do. Because it's just as bad. It's just as sickening to normal people who don't act like you. You heard a cop, Mr. Perry, Mr. Robertson, Calvin, Joe, Josh, and I'm part of the cop family. So when you did that, it sent chills up and down the spine of other police officers all over the place. Okay? And now you live with that. Because what happened after that is we started getting names of your people, Lucius. And your little code words. Rumpelstiltskin is when they try to get me to say my real name and identify myself. Right? Isn't that what that is? Ratatouille is when you send somebody in. They need to try to get me to go outside the club or wherever to dinner. Hansel and Gretel is when you try to coax somebody to a certain location where you can do a crime to them and hurt them bad, like you did coax Mike to Pensacola. I got the text. How did you know? Mike had to be begged to go to Pensacola because initially he said no. But you wanted to kill him, so you needed him in Pensacola. So you did your little hands. We got your code words. Right? Weeble wobbles. Who sat down and thought those up? Daycare code words. So there's that. Everybody note this all for the record, because it's duly noted for all the record in our case, okay? What day are they going to use all that and finally have enough to arrest every single body, every single person who's in this deal? It's different when you do the crime to me. It's the same every time you do it. When Charles contacts me, I fucking hate it, so everybody gets pissed off and we get more. We find out more. Every day my privacy's invaded, every day I'm broken, every day this guy's in jail. That's what happens. It's been that way for years. Same different cause and effect before and after. And I'm repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. Mr. Warman, get your client busy working. Busy doing normal things normal people do. And being with his family, Jacqueline, Jordan, and Matthew, and not in Oklahoma, bothering citizens who want nothing to do with him and don't give two fucks about him. We're sick of him. He was never invited here. Never. He fucking needs to be in a nursing home. Mr. Perry, you better be glad I told you no, because I swear to God, you'd be in a nursing home. You need to be. There's a lot of people with a whole lot of power that are very, very worried about my safety and well-being. Period. All right, Calvin? So when you sit around and you plan some kind of harm to me, just don't get all upset when how'd she find out about that? How'd she know? That's how. Leave me the fuck alone.